Take the camera on them. This way? Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Just to let the Olam know, at 6 o'clock we had a siren in Bet Shemesh and in a lot of Eretz Yisrael, and then we had another one as I was walking towards Shir at about 7:02 or something. I don't know, like early 7. So it was an hour in between. That's why many people are not in the Beis Medrash now. They went into Mamads and stayed there, or went home. There was a few people that were coming from Yerushalayim, and the taxi turned around or canceled and said they can't go. The siren. So that's the matzav in Eretz Yisrael. These missiles so far are coming in from Yemen.
6 o'clock was Iran.
Oh, this one was Iran?
Yes. Yeah.
But how come we didn't get a Hatra on the phone?
We did.
I didn't get. No. My phone is off. Oh. That's different. So the Balagan has started. We had quiet for a very long time, Baruch Hashem, and now waking up the family at 6 o'clock is not geschmack. And now Iran. Okay, so that's different.
Especially no school.
No school. That's you should have seen the simcha of the Rabbeim. We had a few Rabbeim in the shir. They were jumping up and down with joy. Levi, how are you doing?
Levi stayed for the whole shir today.
Hey, the whole school's off. Look at that simcha. You're giving mixed messages here. We're in a war, and you're a simcha g'dayla. Oh, the warning is here. This is the first shir that we didn't even read an email. Okay, Rabbi, so let's at least start something. Rabbi said the Sefer Torah gift. Listen to that. Okay, so if anybody's over the age of 54, because I'm 53. Oh, Siyum Yerua. Oh, that was the message that it just finished. So we jumped the gun. We came a little early. David, your wife is in the airport?
Yes.
Canceled flights and everything?
I'm out there. I'm waiting.
Let's see. Let's hear Psuras Toivus. Sefer Torah gift. New sponsors today. New sponsors. The Klaf for Bamidbar, Meyer Fischel. The Gartel, Meyer Fischel. Yad, Peretz Chaim Levin. Beautiful, beautiful. $30,000 piece. The Yad. The Choshen, Dov Farkas. So, anybody else want? There's the Schus Klaf. You could follow in Meyer Fischel's footsteps. Schus Klaf is available for all Chumashim for $50,000 a Chumash, besides Bamidbar, which Meyer Fischel took. Sponsor the Sefer is available, $100,000. Extend your schus. Rabbi says extend your schus, share a parsha, or with a matching donation of $3,600, $5,400, $7,200, depending on the parsha. I know that Benny said he wants to share his parsha, and in fact, somebody shared it with him for $5,400. Jay Roden, that's right. So there are other people. If you are interested in sharing your parsha, like David Kreinberg, they sit together. David Kreinberg is making his chumash available, $30,000 matching on his chumash. Share that's the price now. Share the sefer. You sponsored as well. Let us know so we can add yours to the list. Rabbi Isai, here's a list. I'm not going to read all the names, obviously, and I'm going to start reading them today. It goes in alphabetical order, and there's a lot of lists here. There's partial lists. Aaron Schwartz is Amudim. These are $720 people, and these names are going to be engraved on the mantle. And also, Rabbi Isai right over there, where you see that Chas cotton sign, that's coming off, and there's going to be a permanent plaque with everybody's name on it. Everybody, I believe, even words. No? I think so. It's going to be straight. So right now, a guy by the name of Alex Katz from Yerushalayim just sent in, I'll share my Parshas Pinchas. So Yishkoyach Alex, on the spot. You don't know who's watching and who's listening on the spot. Aaron Schwartz, Abe Heikind is a Amud. Akiva Kraus, Alan Gruen, all these are Amudim. So I'm not going to say Amud. We all know. Alter Hoffman, Ari Friedman, Ari Levy, Ari Checkenau, Ari Simon, Adar Global, Ari Blumenthal, Usher Stefansky, Avremi Cohen, works for us, Avram Moshe Weil, Avram Reich, Baruch Shafnes, right over there, Beanstalk Boys, they got together, I guess, they got an Amud, Bernard Zicherman, Charles Seid, Stern Family, Chushim Botash, Darren Edelstein, David Lizauer, David Lawrence, Dov Eisenberger, David Levy, David Molzmacher, Shkoyach, thank you, and David Lisker. I'm going to stop over there. These are the psukim partial list. These are the words. I think there's like 4 of these. I love this video. I asked him to do it. He told me that they're starting a satellite location here. Look at Shimmy. In one swoop take, gorgeous brand new base medrash in Manchester.
Rabbi Sai, look at this beautiful, freshly refurbished base medrash in the heart of Manchester. Holy Law base medrash. Beautiful, comfortable chairs, stunning design, fantastic furniture. On top of that, we've got this beautiful coffee station with the best coffee, Nespresso, bean to cup, hot water for your English tea, whatever else you need. Next Sunday night, Mr. Shem, we'll be starting on this screen the live viewing of Reb Eli's Daf Yomi Shir in English. Mincha Mariv 7:45. Followed by the shir. We're going to have the best, freshest pastry Manchester has ever seen. Every attendee is going to get a pair of socks. We're going to have this place set up, ready to roll. Get in touch. If you want one of these for your office, school or shop, custom made, beautiful, you scan the QR code, you get today's daf. Whatever you want, get in touch with Shimi Leifman or Leifman for one of these. If you want to know more about this, get in touch with Jason Selig. His name and number is on the poster. If we get a big turnout after the shir, we'll be doing a rendition of the English version of Vita. Get in touch. See you there.
The English rendition of Vita. That was a one take. It's gewaldig. MDY Satellite Manchester location. Look at that, Rabbi. How could you not go there and check it out? Dear Belly, we are sponsoring. Oh no, I want to read that later in a different day. What is it? Chavdal Sivan. I didn't realize the date. It's like next week. Oh, it's tomorrow. So Mark, do me a favor. Put this guy in for tomorrow. Special shout out to the Golders Green and Hendon communities for hosting me this Shabbos. I am standing with the miracle boy, Rebelli Seliger, an active NDYer who's been here many times, who survived 9 weeks in a COVID-related coma. We're on the side of the arson attack on the Hatzal ambulances, which have now been, Baruch Hashem, replaced. That was pretty quick. I'm struck by the parallel between these stories, individuals and communities facing tremendous hardship and making the active choice to rebuild, recover, and proverbially go Vaita. Best, Naftali Palachik, the Palachik Family Foundation, proverbially. Dear Rebelli Shlita, as you can see, Belgium joined together as a group to sponsor an Amud in the Sefer Torah, together with some of the Europeans' best regards, Yitzi. Before my son has moved his furniture into his new RBS apartment, he made sure the right photo is on the wall. Oh, where is he? He's not here.
It was.
Marcus Kublin. Dear Rebelli, I would never have imagined myself becoming a Daf Yomi guy, but I joined MDY over 2 years ago, starting with Mesechus Bava Metzia, and I enjoy it every day. It's true that it's not always easy to do the Daf, but it's always worth it to have that consistent daily chelik in Torah. I'm part of the Valley Village community in Los Angeles, And this week, I had the rare chance for a day with my younger daughter at Disneyland, just the two of us. She saw that even at Disneyland, it was important to learn. I was able to watch the shiur while we waited in line for rides. She took this picture of me while we made our way through the queue for the Haunted Mansion. Anyone who thinks they don't have time for the daf should know that, 1, time opens up where we make room for it, and 2, our children learn so much from seeing our priorities, especially when it comes to Torah, that is so true. It's beyond our comprehension. What they see and what they learn, they know what's important, why you leave at certain times. Young kids, I just got a video from this girl that says, how come I didn't show it? Maybe I did. Yeah, a little girl, like a 4-year-old. She says, Tati goes to daf, like the whole thing. So where do I go? Daf. It could be that the MDY is really the happiest place on earth.
As Disneyland is called.
Yeah. It could be that MDY is really the happiest place on earth. Not could be. What do you mean could be? My great thanks to you and everyone at MDY for all you do to conduct, maintain, and grow this year. I hope to learn with you in person, but Shemesh soon. The Olam doesn't realize that in this room alone, there's probably 10 people that work on a daily basis to make sure that the shiur runs consistently. Phone calls, ideas, meetings, Zooms. The Olam doesn't realize. On a daily basis. Yeah? Even now you can go through the names, but that guy up there, this guy over there, that guy, these guys over here. It's crazy. It doesn't happen by itself. It's a whole team. Again, I'm going to read what he says here. My great thanks to you and everyone at MDY for all you do to conduct, maintain, and grow the shiur. I hope to learn with you in person in Bet Shemesh soon. Koltov, Menachem Kublin, Valley Village, California. Yeshar Tom's River Salai Chever helping out with the mooing for Daf Lamed Ches. By the way, I was a little cringy yesterday. During the mooing, during the mattress video, it didn't sit well with me, but our editor, Ariel, he said it was his most fun he ever had in any daf that he edited. He was sitting and laughing the entire time from beginning to end. So this is at a live satellite location. This is an unbelievable satellite location. They invest a lot in it. It's unbelievable. Rabbi Yisai, the official edition MDY Shas, the Masechta, Zevin Yal Sholaf. I'm telling you the Shas, I had the schus to learn from our Shas. On Shabbos, I think it was, I did a whole daf, like as a chazara. It flows so beautifully. It is the future. And people are going to be running to the stores to buy it, even no connection to MDY. The future versions of it, eventually, every Amud is going to have a picture or two with graphs, and it's going to be, it's a different level. Anybody that tries it out loves it because it just flows. It's easy to read, it's user-friendly. It doesn't say antechamber and sacrifice, and it's just the lashon that we use. It's
it's more than that, because sometimes he puts in parentheses certain things that you wouldn't have known otherwise that might have been in the notes somewhere.
Right. There are no notes. So right before a tashma, it tells you what the tashma is coming for. It repeats in 3-4 words, just to remind you, to refresh your memory. It says over here in the Gemara, what did Rabbi Yochanan say? Just a quick little things that help. It reads. I don't want to say newspaper, but it reads like a newspaper. It just reads. It flows. Easy to understand. Any kid can read it and get good pshat, crystal clear pshat. It's a very, very good product, and it's getting better and better. Bemis Zevin Yal Sholhav Daf Lamites Sruli Furman Lezeicha Nishmas My Zaydi Shraga Faivel Ben Doiv Kresh, whose yard site is the 23rd of Sivan. David Salman. All these from now on are the Masechta sponsors, the actual Masechta, not the blue MDY Shas. Dedicated in memory of Avi Mari, Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Dov Zichron Livracha. By the Policy Foundation, we just heard from him in gratitude to the consortium and the lines, and all they do to support MDY. Baruch Atah Amen. Atzlacha Baruch Nisu V'Gashmis, and thank you to Chief Benny. I just said B'Dvaroi the first time since I'm a little kid. I said B'Dvaroi. Anonymous, for a complete refuah shleima and arichas yom to Leah Bas Esther, Ben Yomen and Daniel Rosenfeld, Brios v'Simcha, Ari Simon refuah shleima Avi Mari Baruch Ben Miriam. Anonymous, refuah shleima for Rabbi Yerucham Ben Yehudis and of Rami Shaya Ben Slavet Dvara. Amen. I guess his wife didn't let him come today. It's I'm almost as happy as Levi Friedman. The Spanish here sponsors. Mazel tov to the MDY family on this incredible. Sorry. I love you. May Torah keep growing across the world and in Spanish-speaking communities. Shmuel and Ahova Schuster, in memory of Hayalda Shendel Hertzberg, Alea Shalom. Zev and Amy Nevo and family, Adina Liba Nevo. I just spoke to him last night, a long conversation. It's heartbreaking. And I said 2 words to the wife. She got on the phone at the end. And it's a crazy situation. And it was from person. It's a mess. It's a big mess. And it's very, very difficult, the 4-year-old. But the bottom line is, people have to be aware. Like, you get distracted. I don't know if I'm not saying what happened and where happened, but people sometimes get distracted. It happened to me. I didn't even mention to him, but it happened to me twice. I was in charge of my kids in shul, and I just left them in shul and I went home. And at one time they closed the shul, and one of my kids was there, and Baruch Hashem, 5 minutes later, it happens. It happens to especially absent-minded people. And just awareness. There's all sorts of devices to remind you. The car it's to hear the story and to think about a young, vibrant, normal, regular, healthy 4-year-old girl. I have a 4-year-old Anakel, and it's like, wow. Adina Liba Bas Zev Chaim Aleh Shalom, a 4-year-old girl who shook up the world with her ptira. May she be a Meilus Yosef for Klal Yisrael, Amen, and the family should have an Achama. Anonymous, Lila Nishmas, Rabbanit Leah Bat Rivka German on her 20th yard side by Ber Agola class of 2006. Shem should have an Aliyah. Binyamin Nieman. In the schos, I become Matzliach in my Parnasa. Amen. Innovations LLC. Mazel tov, Shmuley Spiro, son of the world famous Tzvi Spiro, on your graduation. Keep giving your parents nachas and doing the daf. Amen. Monthly sponsor, Innovations LLC, as a schos vakiv Simcha Ben Pega and Rivka Yehudis Bas, Yafa Chaya, MDY Art. Before Shlema Yonatan Eitem Ben Beshav Bracha, before Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther, before Zayel Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Brand new Mishnah. We're doing okay. Don't worry about where we're holding because there's a very short daf mem, so everything's beseder gomer. Hashoichet lo'evet kechavim, shchitasik sheira. So basically, we will be discussing. Do you have the power, just in your mind, do you have the influence over a shoichet? You're the owner of that animal. Does your thought have an influence on what the kohen in the Beis Hamikdash does, on what a shoichet outside of the Beis Hamikdash does? So for instance, if you bring a carbon to the Beis Hamikdash, and you're standing on the side, do you have the power and the influence to influence the kohen's shechita and say, oh, it's not going to be a chatas, it's going to be a shlamim. It's not going to be a carbon, it's going to be avodah zara. You're the owner. Maybe you have the right to put a thought into his shechita, his zrika. And the same thing would apply if a Jew is shechting a non-Jewish animal. Even today, Arabs, they'll rely on a Jewish shechita. It's considered halal for them because it's shechted. So suppose, imagine, and the Gemara talks about Arabs actually, that they were avodah zarah, today not so, but back in the day they were. So a Jew is doing the halal process for him, he gets paid for it. He does halal. And the Arab puts a machshava of avodah zarah into the shechita. He says, this is for an idol. As this Jew is doing the action, the owner, could he insert his machshav in it? What do you guys think?
Verbally or just in thinking?
So that's also part of the discussion. And in fact, it's all machlokes. All these things are machlokes. So says the Mishnah, Hashoichet lo'evet kechavim, shchitasik sheira. So Tana Kama says that we don't have to be concerned about the owner, the guy. So therefore, the shechita is kosher, and you, the Jew, can actually purchase meat from this non-Jew. Rebbe Lezer Paisel. Rebbe Lezer holds that the non-Jew, the guy, could insert his avodah zarah thought into your shechita, your Jewish shechita. You can insert the avodah zarah into it. Omer Rebbe Eliezer.
He says, "What?
What?
Even in the first shita.
The what?
ולא ישמענו מערבי כוכב משחשב לשם עבודת כוכב.
Okay, we're going to see the Gemara. That's what we have to see the Gemara. Yeah, we have to see. Right now, we're not talking. We didn't hear anything. At this point, we didn't hear. It's a thought. We have to see if stam, like he said, stam machshavas avodas kochavim la'avodas zara is there a norm for the non-Jew? Omer Rebbe Eliezer, afilu shachta lecha la'avodas kochavim mechatzar kavod shela. So that day that we did the shechita, we saw the diaphragm, we saw the chatzar kavod. It's called a skirt steak in English. It's a wall that divides the liver. So even if the non-Jew owns that very small piece of steak,
From the lung.
the lung to the liver, right? It's in between. It's like a wall between the lung and the liver. It's the first time.
Actually, great sarefet.
Sarefet, samach reish ayin pei tov, sarefet, the diaphragm. Yeah. So. So even if he owns that little diaphragm, psula, he's a owner, he has a partnership in this animal, a small partnership. He has the ability to ruin it. Why? Because the norm of a guy, of someone, an idol worshipper, is always Avodah Zarah. And you could say, halavai, stam machshava of a Jew should be for the Rebbeinu Shalom. Halavai. A guy comes to the Rav and says, Rav, I need a pisrin chalaim. I need to explain to me what I dreamed. Every dream has a new. He says, I dreamt of the Rebbeinu Shalom. I had a conversation with the Rebbeinu Shalom. So this is very good. That means that during the day you're thinking about the Rebbeinu Shalom. Usually you dream at night what you think during the day. He says it's impossible. I'm so busy during the day. I'm running to shul. I'm going to koilel. I'm benching. I don't have a second to think about the Rebbeinu Shalom. There's a lot of truth to it. There's a lot of truth. We're busy running to shul. We're forgetting what we're doing.
Rabbi Malinovic used to always talk about this. Shabbos, drinking Shabbos. Never mentioned Hashem.
Yeah. That's what the Rabbi Victor Miller says. You're allowed to think about HaKadosh Baruch Hu even during Shemoneh Esrei. Omar Rabbi Yosi. Kavachomer hadvarim. Says Rabbi Yossi in the Gemara, if you don't understand the Kavachomer right away, the Gemara is going to give us the details of the Kavachomer. In the Beis Hamikdash, we had, if you weren't with us, I feel bad, but if you are, the whole Masechtas Zvachim talks about the thought process of the Kohen and how he can ruin the Karbanas at the 4 stages. There's 4 famous stages. Here, I'll just throw it on the screen for the newbies. The Shechita, forget the bottom ones, those are all part of the Mincha. Shechita, Kabbalah, Hoilacha, and Zrika. During those 4 processes of shechting and receiving the blood and bringing it to the Mizbech, and then doing the Zrika, throwing the blood on the Mizbech, which is the most important one, throughout that whole process, you could think thoughts that destroy the carbon. Literally, that if you eat from the carbon later, you get Misa. It's that bad. So, says Rabbi Yossi, in the Beis Hamikdash, when the whole idea of ruining it with your thought applies, Ein hakol hoylech ela acha oved. Only the Kohen has the right to have a thought, not the owner. The owner has no right. So when it comes to, let's say, Avodah Zarah, outside of the Beis Hamikdash with just your regular animal, it's certainly a non-shoichet should not have superpowers in his mind to change the designation of this animal and think, oh, I'm the owner, this animal, I'm turning it into Avodah Zarah. In the Beis Hamikdash, you can't do that if you're the owner. And in the Beis Hamikdash, that's where the whole thing originated from. The whole idea of pigul, of ruining the carbon, is in the Beis Hamikdash. You can't do it in the Beis Hamikdash. If you're the owner, you don't have any power over the animal. So certainly outside of the Beis Hamikdash, the guy doesn't have power to make it into Avodah Zarah. So explains the Gemara. Hanitanoi. Let me just. The Shoichet La'ovid Kechavim here. Small video.
You are sad. You are very sad, dear.
You don't like
I
these.
also know why. You want a burger. A double portion. Don't worry. I'll take care of you.
That's our, what do you call it, Abedazar? No, the one that you relieve yourself, the Balpar.
I want a burger. A double portion.
Sir, this is a shoe store.
No excuses. I have a cow outside. I'll pay whatever it takes.
Oh, you're in luck. I'm a certified shoichet. I'm already on it. Here you go.
Thanks.
$5,000, please.
What a nerve. Enough is enough. This is what I brought. You don't want it? Don't eat it.
What am I supposed to do with all this meat? Is it even kosher?
אמר רבי יוסי, מקום שאין מחשובה פוסלת בחולין, אינו דין שלא יהיה הכל הולך, אלא אחר השויכת. אתם מבינים? והלכה כרבי יוסי.
MDY saved my life. There's gonna be Chullin tonight. Yahoo!
Look at this, me over there is not me. Look at that. Look at my teeth.
Just a second, I brought the cholent. It's all thanks to you.
Okay. Zog. That wasn't me. I don't know how they got my. Okay. Zog the Gemara. So, Hani Tanoi, the Tanoim in the Mishnah, Tanakama, Rebbe Lezer, Islu the Rebbe Lezer, Rebbe Yosi. They both. What's machlokes? The Tanakama says that we don't care about the guy. He doesn't insert a machshava of Avodah Zarah. Rebbe Lezer says he does. They both hold of Rebbe Lezer, Rebbe Yosi. But they come out with different opinions. That what? The saying Rebbe Lezer, Rebbe Yosi. Shamati shebal mefaglim. I heard that as the kohen is performing the avodah, the owner could be mefagel. Very interesting. I mentioned this when we were learning Zvachim. That Reb Yosef Engel, he had a very, very strong kasha. He said, how is it possible that the owner could be mefagel? Then it comes out that there's no halacha of soita. A soita will never blow up. Why? Because she has to bring a mincha. So as she's bringing the mincha, in her mind she's going to think that she's going to eat the mincha. It's going to be they're going to be makter the mincha in 3 days. If an owner has the right to ruin things in their mind, so she can ruin the mincha, and then she never brought a mincha, she didn't bring in a mincha, then the water doesn't work. So he wrote a sefer called Gvura Shmoinim to answer this question with 80 different answers. And in the Akdama he writes, what a shame I didn't call it Gvuros Meah, because he was able to come up with 80 answers because he forced himself, because that was the name of the book, that was the name of the sefer. Had he made a larger, a higher goal, he would have forced himself even to 100. The psychology of a human. Set yourself achievable goals, but high ones. Zog the Gemara. I remember we were sitting once, 5 years ago, and we were, 2,000-3,000 people in the shir. It was 2,000-3,000 people. Who ever heard of a shir? 2,000-3,000 people. And Yossi Klein says to me in the Salon Gans, he says, one day we're going to have 70,000. And I said, look, it's a beautiful goal, but you got to be realistic. You have to be within reason. We're not holding. You want to say 10,000? It's a crazy number, but it's realistic. 70,000. Like what are you talking about? 70,000. And now we're very close. We're very close. Be'ez Hashem, hopefully by the Siyam Shas we'll be there. We're like at 50 now. Unbelievable. What? 60. We're at 60. Based on the numbers. Yeah, we saw crazy numbers. I don't know, it's very hard to, these are 60? That's what we came out with?
Yeah, 61.
37 plus 20 is 50.
57.
Oh, 57.
More that were processed.
Wow. Huh?
100K.
Yeah, well, that's nothing now. Now it's 170. At 4 we ate. Now we had a new goal. I said 400,000. If everybody brings 2 people, and the next people bring this 400,000. Okay, Zog the Gemara. Miu Shabati Shabbat Mefagdim. I heard that the owner could actually have an effect on this animal. Miu, so what's the machlokes? Tanagam sover ishaminu if shamine de chashiv in. If you heard it come out of his mouth, okay. Eloi, but you didn't hear anything, so you can't assume anything. So therefore, he didn't make an avodah zarah. Stam machshav sovet gechaven avodah zarah lo yamrinon. To say that this guy's a groisa oivid avodah zarah, we don't say that. Even though you didn't hear it directly from his mouth, but you could assume that that's his thought, and his thought does have effect on this animal. So the third sheet in the Mishnah is, even if you heard the chashiv that he said mifurish, you heard from the guy's mouth that it's avodah zarah, it means nothing. Why? This guy's performing a shechita, and this guy, Muhammad, is thinking of avodah zarah. It doesn't affect the shechita of the Jew. Okay, so that's one way to look at it. No, there's a machlokes even when you heard it directly from the guy's mouth. Yes, I agree. There's something called that the owner is mefago, but that's only b'fnim. That's why I brought this Beis Hamikdash here, not because Yosef is here, my brother Yosef, but because bifnim, I want to. Bifnim is not a word; it's a thing. We're in the Beis Hamikdash. Inside here, you could have thoughts to ruin the carbon. That's only inside the Beis Hamikdash. Ava b'chutz loy. Outside of the Beis Hamikdash, right over here, any other place besides the Beis Hamikdash in the entire world, it doesn't work. Why? Chutz bifnim lo yalfinon. I don't learn outside of the Beis Hamikdash to inside. I don't learn avodah zarah from a carbon. So he holds taka. Rabbi Eliezer, no, I do learn any carbon from the carbon, any shechting from the carbonis of the Beis Hamikdash. Just like in the Beis Hamikdash, the owner has an effect on the shechita. So too outside the Beis Hamikdash. That's why if a Jew is shechting an animal and the owner, the guy, has a thought, his thought, it's unbelievable. His thought transfers into the animal and ruins the animal. Makes it avodah zarah. There's a question people ask. Why does it say tiskil legadloi? We always say tiskil legadloi leTorah, lechuppah, or lemaisim tovim. Shouldn't maisim tovim be before chuppah? Don't you want your kid to be a mensch before he gets married? Tiskil legadloi lemaisim tovim. So they answer that. When could you tell that a person is a true Bal Midas, that he's a true Bal Chesed, when he does chesed with his wife, when he does chesed in his home? That's the chesed that we're looking for. And it fits in over here. When a person, a lot of people, they run around and doing chesed to this one, chesed to that one, but in their own home, they're pretty achzarim. And you could learn the outside from the inside. When a person, you see a person is mischased with his wife and his children, then you know that he's a true Bal Chesed outside. So the Gemara, V'asar Rabbi Yosi L'meimar, comes Rabbi Yosi and he says, Afilu b'fnim nami, and he holds pretty much like, I think that's the standard shita, that even inside the Beis Hamikdash, the Bailam doesn't have powers over the animal. He can't insert his power into the Kayin Shchita. You're the owner, you're Yisrael, you can think whatever you want, you're not going to affect it. Itmar. Hashoichet ez behema lizrik domal avodah zarah, ulahak yechel bal avodah zarah. So now we're going into a sugya called me'avoida la'avoida. These are the four avodas, right? Every pigol in the world, basically, is me'avoida la'avoida. For the most part. Because if you're having a thought during shechita, what's your thought? Not that you're going to do shechita somewhere else. You're thinking during shechita, where are you going to do the zrika? Where are you going to eat the animal? Where are you going to put the animal? When are you going to put the animal's parts on the mizbeach? That's the problem of pigol. Pigol means I'm thinking to myself, anything that has to do with eating, even the mizbeach's food, so to speak. So I think to myself, I'm going to do zrika tomorrow. As I'm doing shechita, as I'm doing the one on the right, I'm thinking about the one on the left. Isn't that's ma'avoida la'avoida, and that's what pigol is. So what about in shechita? Do I say avoida la'avoida as I'm shechting the carbon? Now, if I'm shechting a carbon, and I think to myself, I'm shechting this, not carbon. If I'm shechting an animal outside in my garage, at home, I'm shechting an animal l'shem avodah zarah. Is that Avodah Zarah? Why is it Avodah Zarah? Everybody agrees it's Avodah Zarah. There's no question that you chayiv misa and this animal is asur b'hana. Not only that, there, Lauren, you hear this? This animal, there's something, think about, we learned in Zvachim that this animal, not only is it asur b'hana and asur for you to eat, but there's also something super duper with this animal. Think what it is. What could it be? Something really, really bad. Huh? No? Oh! It's not stam tamei, it's tamei ba'oil. Everybody in the room becomes tamei. That's how severe. So if I shech this animal with a knife and I say this is Avodah Zarah, the whole building goes up in red. It's like it's a zivchei mesim. But what if I think during the shechita that I'm going to throw the blood l'shem Avodah Zarah? Could I transfer my thought of shechita to the zrika when it comes to Avodah Zarah outside the Beis Hamikdash? Inside the Beis Hamikdash, obviously it works. But outside, that's the question. Here's another trick question. What if I think to myself that I'm going to take the parts of this animal that I'm shechting right now during the shechita and I'm going to put them on my bama in the backyard? Is that Avodah Zarah? 100% it's Avodah Zarah. It's Avodah Zarah. Does it make the animal puzzle? Are you chayiv misa? Yes, 100%. Does it make the animal puzzle? No. Why not? Because that occurs after the zrika. That's already the putting on in the Beis Hamikdash, putting the parts of the animal on the mizbech is after you're already done. So I can't ruin the animal after I'm done. Let's say you have a piece of meat in your refrigerator ready to eat, and then I say, oh, this is Avodah Zarah. It's not going to work. You're oived Avodah Zarah, but it doesn't affect the meat. So I'm just putting it into this line over here. Zrika is a problem. Zrika is very much Avodah Zarah, and you're chayiv misa for saying it. But the question is, does it have an effect on the animal? But the next line, to put the chaylev, the fats, the parts that go on the mizbeach for Avodah Zarah, that's already too late. That's already post the zrika. So now the question is, could I have an effect on when I do my shechita? Could I think about another avodah called zrika? Rabbi Yochanan says yes, psula. It's asur bahana. Pasul over here means asur bahana. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish Amar muteres. It's not a problem. You're chayiv misa, but you're mutter. What does mutter mean? The animal is mutter. You are chayiv misa, but you can have a great steak before you die. Rabbi Yochanan Amar psula. Rabbi Yochanan says, because I could put my thought during shechita about zrika in it. Why? It's not vi. It's why. Because yalfinu chutz v'yalfinu chutz mifnim. Because I'm learning Avodah Zarah from Pigul. Pigul is inside the Beis Hamikdash. Avodah Zarah is outside. I can learn the outside from the inside. Shlokish Amar muteres. And Rosh Lakish says it's not a problem with the meat. You are chayiv misa, but it's not a problem with the meat. Why? I cannot go from shchita to zrika in my mind. Why? Because I don't learn Avodah Zarah from in the Beis Hamikdash. Of course we go ma'avodah la'avodah. That's not even a question. Rav Shechta, מה נשמע? תגע. אנחנו לא מתפללים לעוד. חצי שעה. 20 דקות. אז אם אתה רוצה שם למטה וזה. סליחה. אין ישיבה היום. ישיבתנו אולי יש, כן. Who knows? מחש מעבודה, עבודה, חוץ מפנים. אוקיי. says Gemara, v'ozu l'tamayu. V'ozu l'tamayu, the itmar shchot l'shmo l'zrik, dom l'shlo l'shmo. Because they go according to their own shita. There's another machlokes, a very, very similar machlokes somewhere else. And the Gemara says that this machlokes over here by Avodah Zarah is similar to that machlokes over there. And then the Gemara is going to ask, so if so, why do they have to argue in two different things that are the same thing? It's the same. Now, if I were to ask you, where in Shas does it mention Rish Lakish and Reb Shimon ben Lakish within the same lines, where would you say? Oh, you're looking over there. He says, I just said it. You're right, I just said it. But when I asked Reb Menachem Mendel Fenster a few days ago, I said, as a joke, I said, why does it say, sometimes it says Reb Shimon ben Lakish, sometimes it says Rish Lakish. I was just trying to bother him. So he says, Ayin Daf Lamed Tes Amud Aleph on the top. So here we are. We just passed it. I just went a few lines weiter on purpose. So it says in line number 6, it says Reb Shimon ben Lakish Omar Muteres. And then it says in line 8, Rish Lakish Omar Muteres. So over here he's trying to prove that's the same person. We're explaining why Rish Shimon ben Lakish says Muter. And the Gemara explains, Rish Lakish Omar Muteres. It's in the same line. It's the same human being. You can't say it's two different people. And you can't say that he was younger or older. He was a Talmud then. It's the same person. So sometimes it just says like this, something like that, and that's how he. But his mind works in a very different way than a regular human being, than most human beings.
The editor didn't have space. So
Who? Oh, yeah. Fenster said it. But he said, "Ayin Lametes." Like it's not even in the sukkah. It's not even a question. I could have asked it anywhere in Shas, and he answers to me in a second. Okay. Okay. Rabbi Isai, it's the same thing, the same idea. We remember the first Mishnah of Zvachim. It says the idea of Lishma. What does Lishma mean? Usually it means like you have to have kavana for a mitzvah. Over there it means that if you're shechting a carbon chatos, you cannot switch its designation to a shlamim, let's say. If you bring a carbon chatos to the Beis Hamikdash and the kohen thinks to himself that's not a chatos, it's a shlamim, he's over on shaloi Lishma. There's only 2 korbanos you can do it to. A chatos and a Pesach. That's it. So, but it's very similar to pigul. It's the same idea, but it's different. Pigul is I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to eat it at the wrong time. And this is, I'm bringing another type of carbon. Instead of a chatos, it's a shlamim. I started off this chatos very good. I shechted it with the proper intent that it's a chatos. But I'm thinking to myself, you know what? In 5 minutes, when I throw the blood on the mizbeach, I'm going to throw it as if it's a shlamim. I'm allowed to jump in my mind from shchita to zrika. That I'm learning the lishma, the problem of jumping from carbon to carbon, from chatas to shlamim. I'm going to learn from pigul that I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to eat this animal after its time. You cannot go from one avodah to another avodah. And I don't learn from pigul. So Gemara is saying basically it's the same machlokes as we just mentioned with avodah zara. Do I learn machshava to machshava? Utzricha says the Gemara. The Yitmar Baha. Let me just show you this video real quick. I thought it was a cute video. Where is it? Oh, it's this one.
You have to quit this madness!
Okay, I'll try to stop.
My mother always said I was the black sheep of the family. Which is messed up, Doc, because I'm a goat.
Welcome to another meeting of anonymous addicts. We have a newcomer today. I am Katat, and I am an addict.
We love you, Katat.
3 months smoke-free. Health is everything.
With all that meat on you, you are no longer a hatat, you are a shlamim.
So that's what the Shema is. The Shema means that you switch the designation from a chatas to a shlamim. All that for that. Somebody I know very well, I learned with his son a lot. Anytime we show the chatas smoking, he basically, not every time, but he makes a macha. The smoking is not good, but I hope now, like this is, we're trying to get people to stop smoking. Okay. The Yidmar Baha, I'm not making this up, as I was walking down I took the elevator, and the elevator stopped on one of the floors in the building. And I see my neighbor in a wheelchair going to the hospital. So I asked the son, so I came out of the elevator, I said, you guys take the elevator with the wheelchair and I'll go down the stairs. So the son came with me and said, what's going on here? He said, his mother got the lung cancer. So I'm like, we were just talking about this. I said, did she smoke? No, she's not a smoker. Okay. Should have a refuah shlema. Utzricha, the Yitmar Baha Kamar Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Mishum de chutz b'fneim lo yalfinon. If I just said this is machlokes bayos and our suga by Avodah Zarah, it's because Avodah Zarah, it's outside of the Beis Hamikdash. So I don't learn the outside from the inside. But the Shema, the Chatas, that we changed the designation to Shlamim, and Pigel, they're all done inside the Beis Hamikdash. Maybe perhaps you could go from one machshava to another, from shchita to zrika. And if I only said the Lishma, it's a simple tzrichusa, it goes both ways. If I only spoke about the Lishma case, that's inside the Beis HaMikdash, Bahikam Rabbi Yochanan, even Rabbi Yochanan admits, over there, Rabbi Yochanan admits that that you learn Pigel you learn Lishma from Pigel. Al-Baha, and Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. But when it comes to Avodah Zarah, maybe the mitzvah Rish Lakish, that it's not a problem because it's outside of Beis HaMikdash. Tzricha, you can go, you need the machlokes in both cases. That do you go from shchita to zrika in your mind or not? What's the Rav Sheshes? Rav Sheshes asked the question, and the Gemara is going to say at the end, I'm just pointing it out, his name is Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes is going to answer the question. So he asks a very simple question that really needs explanation. What do we learn in the Mishnah? In a place where your thought ruins it in the Beis Hamikdash. Now Rashi points out that the word poisel, חבר'ה, המניין של שחס, אולי עדיף להתפלל שמה, כי אנחנו התחלנו מאוד מאוחר בגלל האזעקות, אז אנחנו לא נגמור לעוד איזה רבע שעה או משהו. So, if the person is doing pigul in the Beis Hamikdash, what would it say? It would say, ומה במקום שמחשבה מפגלס. Why does it say poiselas? Poiselas might be talking about even the case of lishma. I can ruin it, so to speak, by thinking instead of that it's a chaz, it's a shlamim. That works in the Beis Hamikdash. It says Rabbi Yossi, only the kohen has the power to change it and to ruin it. But outside of the Beis Hamikdash, where your mind doesn't work, it doesn't have control. And then, now what's the question right here? Outside of the Beis Hamikdash, your mind doesn't have control? Of course your mind has control. If you think about, while you're shechting an animal, you think in your mind that it's an Avodah Zarah, there's no greater Avodah Zarah than that. That is Avodah Zarah. And then so the Gemara asks, what does it mean your mind doesn't have control? Even though it passes a cloud that it doesn't have any effect, it's the Krevis Avodah Zarah. The Krevis Avodah Zarah actually changes the designation. It makes it... Put it down. Oh. Where was this the Krevis Avodah Zarah? Huh? The Sheikhet. But Rabbi Yossi says about the Sheikhet. He says, in a place where the Sheikhet has no effect on the animal outside the Beis Hamikdash, so of course the Bailam doesn't have an effect. But he starts with the Sheikhet. In the Beis Hamikdash, the Sheikhet has an effect, the owner has zero effect. So outside of the Beis Hamikdash, where the Sheikhet, the so to speak kohen, has zero effect, so certainly the owner has no effect. What do you mean the Sheikhet doesn't have an effect? The Sheikhet can make it into Avodah Zarah by thinking about it. So says the Gemara, so you have to explain. It must be, we have a video here. Oh, Zivchim Eisim here, real quickly. Hold on. This is showing that Avodah Zarah, your mom don't like Avodah Zarah videos. Doesn't sit well with you. Good. That's a very good thing. It's showing Zivchim Eisim. No. But you have to see this idea. Becomes a dead person, and a dead person fills up the whole room with tumah, with red tumah. Okay, what are you saying? That what? That's not a machshava. It's a dibur. What?
The Gemara is asking, when would you ever have avodah zarah? The answer is the dibur. When he says, "I'm doing Hashem avodah zarah."
No, we know that machshava also works. That we had sugis in avodah zarah. The machshava works. You can think about the avodah zarah. Now you're inventing a new thing. Zog the Gemara. It means that do you have an effect? Of course you have an effect during the shechita to say that it's avodah zarah. But do you have the effect while you're shechting to say that I'm going to do zrika avodah zarah? Could I go from one avodah zarah in my mind? And so Mela, the Kavacham is like this. In the Beis Hamikdash, even if I think pigol or lishma, poisel is lishma, even if I think that it's shlamim instead of a chatos, like you saw in the video, it ruins it from one avodah, and I have the effect ma'avodah avodah. During the shechita, I'm thinking that I'm going to do the zrika for shlamim. But it's only who has an effect, says Rabbi Yossi, only the kohen, not the owner. So outside of Beis Hamikdash, where I shecht an animal during shechita, I cannot think about zrika for avodas kechavim. I can only focus on the shechita. If I during the shechita I say it's avodah zarah, you're right, it works. But not I can't jump to another avodah. And it didn't. So therefore I have a kavachomer that only the person performing the shechita can do it, and not the owner. And so then why are you so concerned about the owner, the guy, inserting his thought of avodah zarah into your shechita? Says the Gemara, Pnim Kashel Reb Shimon ben Lakish, Chutz Kashel Reb Yochanan. I think this makes it so easy. What does Rabbi Yossi just say? What did he just? Oh, I wanted to change it. I forgot. Machshava ma'avodah la'avodah. Gershon, could you change these words afterwards? Where it says machshava, just put the word machshava instead of that little. I don't like that guy. I don't know why he did. Machshava ma'avodah la'avodah. Gam l'shma b'fnim v'loy b'chutz. I just wrote this lashon. That what? It's based on Rashi. That what? I could think from shchita to zrika, even in a chatas and a shlamim in l'shma, inside the Beis Hamikdash, not outside the Beis Hamikdash. So what's the problem with that? Two problems. Rish Lakish doesn't work with the l'shma part, and Rabbi Yochanan doesn't work with the outside part. Why? Take a look. The words are going to jump. Oops. No. Don't change it now. Oh, it's changed already. Okay, fine. All right, it's there. Now, Rish Lakish says you cannot think about l'shma from one avodah to avodah, and Rabbi Yossi says we're assuming that Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan go with Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi Yossi said this from one avodah to the other only inside the Beis Hamikdash, not v'loy b'chutz. Rabbi Yochanan says it works even outside. So we can see there's one problem for each mandamar. So says the Gemara, Bishleim apnim l'Reb Shimon ben Lakish le'kashya. This is fascinating. Before Rish Lakish heard it from his Rebbe, Rashi calls him his Rebbe. Yeah, you throughout Shas they argue. Rish Lakish always argues with Rish Lakish, right? So before, and here's the crazy thing. According to one Pshat in Rashi says, before he heard this Mishnah from Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi, svara de Rabbi. He was arguing on the logic. And once he heard it's a Mishnah, he said, okay, I can't argue on the logic. Ask Taisvis. Look at this small little Taisvis. We do all Taisvis, especially if they're small. Basically, I think Taisvis is very bothered by this. Rish Lakish doesn't know a Mishnah. Now, because if Rish Lakish was like a beginner, you want to tell me, oh, he's a beginner. He wouldn't be arguing with Rish Lakish. He has no right to argue with it. So Elamai is in a darga of arguing with Rabbi Yochanan, so he doesn't know a Mishnah. That's why there's another Pshat in Rashi also. Okay, so says the Gemara. Yeah, but there's a big question whether he's the Talmud Chacham before and then became a Ganav, or he's always. Yeah, I think there's a when we learned that sugya. He's holding by the Hebrew shir still. Rabbi Yochanan says that you could go from one avodah to another avodah even outside the Beis Hamikdash. The same Rav Sheshes, that's the question. Answer the question. Barba avodah, beautiful, very simple pshat. We were learning ma'avoida la'avoida, two avoidas. That what? I'm going from, as I'm shechting, I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do by the zrika? No. That's not the pshat at all. Arba avoidas means literally, avoidas means the four famous avoidas. I could think at the shechita that I'm ruining it. I could think by the Kabbalah I'm ruining it. I could think by, I'm not jumping from the right to the left, from shechita to zrika. All I'm saying is that in the Beis Hamikdash there's four avodas, and outside the Beis Hamikdash are how many avodas? Only two. That's what I'm saying. So that's the beautiful Kavachomer, where I have four avodas that can ruin it. Only the Kohen can ruin it. So when I only have two avodas, then certainly only the Shochet can ruin it. It's more avodas, more possibilities, and only one person can do it. That's the kasher. And I call her Oived. Daf Lamed Tesam Beis. Mokoim shemachshav b'selz b'chulin. El b'shtei avodos. In a place outside the Beis Hamikdash, there's only shchita and zrika. And it is shelo yakol hoylech el achashochet. So certainly, only the kohen should be able to do, or the shochet should be able to do, and ruin this animal, not the owner. Turning the daf by the global specialist in international financial services, Mimamish Misu Aryeh, Chaim Milrad, Lishmas Imam Mirasi, Frado Etel Bas, Yitzchak Oleo, Hashalom. What are we going to do here? Wow. Tanya give us say the Rabbi Yochanan. That what? Rabbi Yochanan says that you could ruin it from Shechita to Zrika. That as you're doing a Shechita outside the Beis Hamikdash, you could think to yourself, oh, I'm going to do the Zrika for Avodah Zarah. It says, before Lizrik, you tired? Hashoichet is a behema lizrik doma. Nebuch, he was woken up at 6 o'clock. Hashoichet is a behema lizrik doma la'avodah zara ulahak techel la'avodah zara. Yes. We do. Oh, first of all, Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Thank you for coming. It's a shvacha day today. Who else is a guest? Oh, I didn't notice you. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? From Manchester, London. No. That's a Chidush Gadol. Gates is a big one. We haven't had a Gates there in Mamish a long time. Shalom Aleichem. So what's your kid's name over there? Oh! Aaron from Gateshead. Wow. Shalom Aleichem. You came on the day. You were able to get it with all the sirens?
We live here in Beit Shemesh now.
Oh, you do? How long do you live here?
17 years.
I'm from New York.
That was good. That was good. And you still have that accent? Wow. I was right with what I said. I was right. You're not from Gateshead. We didn't have a guy from Gateshead in a long time. Your mom should give me come from Gateshead. Okay, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. Wow. Shalom Aleichem. As he's doing the shechita, he's thinking about zrika. So that's from avoida to avoida, just like Rabbi Yochanan said, and it makes it terrible. It's a zivchei mesim. Oh, here's a question. What if? What do we do? What do we do here? We stop here. It's already we're an hour into shir. It's an hour into shir. It's 8:20. Okay, we're gonna have to stop here and figure it out. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful, quiet day. B'suras Tovos.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.